Okay, so yes, first of all,
We're here. We hear you.
yeah, first of all, you should
Salva,
know.
you're surrounded
there.
by a ton of Mrs. Beckers.
What?
You're surrounded by Miss Beckers.
Oh, okay.
For-
Listen, guys, you're looking at a man who is double holy.
How come?
Why is that?
Because you heard this parsha twice.
I was
Which
trying to say it,
parsha?
and I couldn't unmute fast enough. You heard
Which
Kedoshim
parsha?
twice. Kedoshim.
Which parsha?
Kedoshim.
Kedoshim. I'm holy twice. I heard it last week. I heard it again. So you're talking to holy man. Okay. Okay.
Cool.
Anyway, I'd like to discuss a little bit the Kadosh because it's a very complicated thing. I'm going to read to you what the Parsha says and tell you very difficult. וידבר שם משה לאמור, דבר כל הדת בני ישראל, ואמרת להם קדושים תהיו כי קדוש אני השם אלוקיכם. I want you to be kadosh, whatever that means. Ki kadosh ani Hashem elokechem. Now, I mean, it's very nice to say that, but how can Avraham Becker be kadosh? It really is. And because Hashem is kadosh, how can I be? What is it that Hashem really wants me to do here? But the interesting thing about this whole parsha is, you want to put it up? It's up to you. It's the beginning of the parsha.
I can put it on. Shani, I could do it. Oh, unless I can't share screen.
Here, I'll do it. It's okay. I have it here. 1 second. What parak is it, Saba?
It's I'm sorry. Perek Yutet Pasuk Aleph.
Got it.
Vayikra. There's a very interesting thing. Let's think for a moment. Do you think that the Parsha of Kedoshim belongs in Sefer Vayikra? What's Sefer Vayikra called? Torah Kohanim, right? Or in English, Leviticus. It's talking about Korbanot, it's about Kohanim. Is Kedoshim an acceptable place to put Kedoshim in? Anybody have an idea? Very interesting. Take a look at the words very carefully. Daber el kol hadat bnei Yisrael v'ma kedoshim tiyu. What was going on all this time in Fesach Vayikra? Aaron HaKohen, Kohanim, Leviyim, Korbanot. Now comes the thing, okay, it may be one group of people, but I want you to take all the people, Daber el kol hadat bnei Yisrael. I know any other place that the Chumash says that I've got to gather everybody together, maybe in Vayakhel. But here is a situation where Hashem wants Moshe Rabbeinu to gather everybody. Yes, we have so-called individuals, Kohanim and Levim, who are designated for certain purposes. But I want you, people together, Dabel kol hadat bnei Yisrael. V'amata kadoshim tiyu ki kadosh ani Hashem elokechem. It's the most amazing. What's the word? It's a sense of balance. It gives you a sense of balance. Don't think that because the whole Sefer Vayikra is so narrow to Kohanim and Aaron HaKohen and the Levim and Korbanot that you're out of the picture. No, you are exactly part of the picture. And you know why? Ki kadosh ani. Very, very beautiful. Very beautiful. So now we have the following situation. So, okay. So we try our best, Ki kadosh ani. Very interesting. If you take a look, all our prayers over and over and over and over again. Can you put the siddur up?
Betach.
If you can, I would like to do the Kedusha of Shacharit. Can you do that? Ashkenaz. Don't put the
This is
That's
hard.
good. I think you have Sfarad there. Yes, Sfarad. I'll read to you the way we say it, because we'll come back to Sfaradim in a minute. You have it?
What is this? Hold tefillah. No, maybe
You're very close to it. Nusach Ashkenaz. I read it to you. All know it. I mean, you say Kedusha all the time. Interesting thing is, what's the name of this prayer, so to speak? Kedusha.
Kedusha.
So you got to be talking all night, all afternoon now about Kodesh. What we are doing now is saying something called Kedusha. Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, keshem shemakdishim oto b'shmei marom. So now we want to be. How do I, as a human being, know how to be kadosh? Well, the closest who will know how to be kadosh are who? The malachim, the Bet Hashamala. Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, keshem shemakdishim oto b'shmei marom. And what do they say over there? Kadosh, 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 Shem Tzvaot Melech Kol Hatzvaot. Somehow or other, the Malachim understand what this Kedusha is. And once I understand what Kedusha is, like Kadosh, Baruch Hu wants me to be like Kadosh, then I can understand that. Now let's go on to the Musaf Shabbat, again the Kedusha. So there, actually, can you get it? If not, I'll read it to you. You all know it, so it's not a.
Tony,
Again,
that's what you had open. You had Musaf open.
It was
you talk to
Musaf.
me.
Do they have it in Safaria, the sitter? Sheila?
I think so.
Ray, can I go ahead?
I think they do.
May I go ahead?
Hold on 1 second, Saba. I'm gonna try to find
Sure.
it. I don't see it here.
You could probably search for it. I don't know.
You all know. You
Like-
all know the kedusha. I mean, it's not. I'll read it to you.
Okay.
Na'aritzcha v'nagdishcha kesod siach sarfei kodesh hamagdishim shimcha b'kodesh. In other words, I want to go and do the kedusha, but I don't know how to do that. So I'm going to do it today the way the Sarfei Kodesh do it. And they, Magdishim Shimcha B'Kodesh, they apparently know. In other words, what's happening over here is an attempt on the part of us. Hashem says, Kedoshim Tihiyu, Ki Kadosh Ani. And it's very hard for a human being to understand what that really means. So by Kedusha, what we attempt to do is to try to get closer to the Malachim, who then themselves say Kadosh to Hashem. What do they say? Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. We'll come back in a minute what that means. But at least now I understand a little bit closer what it is that Kedusha is in that respect. Now what I read to you, and interesting, is the Sfaradim. It's even more interesting because they really say what I just told you. I'm going to read to you now how they say it. Keter yitnu lecha Hashem Elokeinu, malachim hamone mala. Watch this. Im amcha Yisrael kvutzei mata. Yachad kulam mikudusha lecha yeshaleshu. We are trying our best to connect with the malachim and say the kedusha together. I'll read to you one more time. Keter yitnu lecha Hashem Elokeinu, malachim hamone mala, kvutzei mata. Yachad kulam kedusha yeshaleshu. V'kara ze amar kadosh, kadosh, kadosh. It's an amazing concept. Hashem says to us, Kedoshim Tihiyu, Ki Kadosh Ani, and we try our best to understand how can be as humans being Kadosh, and we attempt to make this thing called Kedusha, and we say Na'aritzcha v'nagdishcha kesod siach sarfei kodesh, haketi l'rucha yachad kulam yeshaleshu. If we could basically say the Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh together with the Malachim, maybe we're closer and closer to Kedusha. But we still haven't understood that. So an interesting thing is, and that has to do with, we say Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. So I think it's in Shani, where did you want to go? What city?
What?
What city did you want to go to? Last 2 weeks
Vienna?
ago? No, what city? What was a city there? You got tickets to.
I don't remember.
You were supposed to go with your mother.
To
Anyway, I think it's in I think it's in Prague where it's located. I may be wrong on that. There's a huge bridge over there, and it says holy, holy, holy in their language. Does that help you understand what Kedusha is?
No.
What does even holy mean? What does holy mean? What does it mean? So when do we say holy, 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 kadosh, 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 the Kedusha, and also an Uva Letzion. This is very interesting. Uva Letzion. Can you put that up?
Let me try.
Yeah, there you go.
But it's not the whole thing.
Can you put up the thing? Okay, I'll read to you.
Sorry, it's a little bit.
Uva Letzion go'er. Okay. Watch this. Va'ani, who's speaking? God. Zot briti otam. This is the covenant that I have with you. Amar Hashem. Ruchi asher lecha. My spirit upon you. Udvarai shesamti leficha. Lo yamushu mipicha, u'mipi zaracha, u'mipi zera zaracha, ma Hashem atal elam. Ve'ata kadosh. Yoshev tilot Yisrael. Baruch Hu, you're kadosh. And at that point, what do we say? Because Amar. Who's because of course? Malachim. But now I am part of it too. I call upon you, I call upon me, and I call upon the Malachim. This is a uniform, universal symphony. Beautiful to see this. Read it again. דבריי רוחי אשר לך על דבריי שלי לא ימוש מפיך בזרעך מעתה ועד עולם ואתה קדוש יושב תראה ישראל בקרא זה על זה ואמר קדוש 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 השם צבאות מלוך הארץ כבודו. Now we still don't know what that means. It's one of the few places in our davening where as soon as you say it there is a translation into our vernacular. You know what vernacular means? Everybody knows what it means, vernacular. The language that we speak. It's almost unheard of. The only place the other one is Hashem Yimloch, Hashem Malchutei. Normally, Atah Kadosh, Hashem, and all the others, there is no translation immediately after that, except for what I read to you now. Watch this. Umekablin dain min dain. This is Aramaic. Va'amrin. This will really blow your mind, I think. Kadish bishmei meroma ilah. You have it here? You have it here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here you go. You have it. You have it played. Can you see it? Kablim dain min dain. You see everybody? It's line 1, 2, 3, 4. It's an amazing thing. It's one of the few places that you see, and as soon as I said kadosh, 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 because I don't really understand the words. I don't know what holy, holy means. Comes whoever put this together and immediately translate that into what we should understand about Kedusha. It's magnificent. Kablin dain min dain. This is Aramaic. And makablin echad ma'asheni. Kadish bishmei meroma. In heaven, they try to do the Kaddish. Kaddish, now watch what that means. Kaddish al ara ovad gevurte. Anyone want to try to translate that?
Allah, it's on the ground.
What does Bishmei Meroma mean? Hashamayim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is completely separate from the heaven because he created heaven. Kaddish al ara ovad gevurte. What's ara? Ein v'tzadik mitzchafot.
It's Aris.
Land. Hashem is completely outside of the heavenly things, the spiritual thing, all things, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu created him. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is completely separate from earth. And what's the last one? Kadish le'olam ulol me'olmaya. God is separate from time. Anybody asks, when does God start? So, but we understand that God created time. God created time, then he obviously is not under the influence of time. You can't say, when did he start? Because he is the one who started, so to speak, time. So now you have an exam and an explanation what this holy, holy, holy is in principle, wherever it is spoken. It really means Kedusha in the sense that God is separate, God is completely away from all. He's the one who is completely separate because he's the one who created it. God is the one who created it. And because he created it, he's not under the influence. So when I say Kadosh, 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 I make a statement. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you are completely separate from the universe. Not the spirit, not the sky, not the earth, not time. It's all you, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Now, you might want to say, if God is so far away, is he next to me? Does he know Avon Becker? Does he care whether I put in film in the morning? If he's so far away, so we say right after that, Baruch Kavod Hashem Mimkomo. What does Baruch mean? Connected. The word connection, because Berach. Baruch Kavod Hashem Mimkomo. This peculiar situation where you have a situation where there's a God who's completely separate from us. And he has a direct connection to us. And that's why I say, Mimkomo hu yifen berachamim. Mimkomcha malkeinu tofia. Because I need you, God, and I ask you to Baruch Hashem Mimkomo. So what you have here is a combination of completely separate and complete connection. And what do we usually call God? HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Kadosh means he's completely gone away from me. At the same time, Baruch Hu. That's the most amazing concept. It's the Greeks had a big trouble with that. The Greeks said, okay, yeah, I'm sure somebody made the earth, the universe, the stars, but does he really care whether I put on talis and tefillin? In other words, but our religion is an amazing concept that way. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Kadosh, 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 Baruch Hashem Mimkomo. Mimkomcha malkeinu tofia. So now we have an interesting thing. We have a little bit of insight into what Kedusha means. Kedusha means complete separation in the universe in which there's complete connection. It's magnificent. Now, if that's the case, how can we as humans do what God does? So now I have a whole thing. When you have kitzira of your feet, lo techale pe'at sadcha liksov velo telaket. La'ani v'lager ta'azov otam. Ani Hashem Elokechem. It's beautiful. You have this huge field. It's magnificent. It put out a tremendous amount of fruits and vegetables and everything for you. Make sure you have one spot there, one spot called Peah, in which the poor can come. Lot laket, la'ani v'lagot osam. Do you know why? Do you know what Pasuk says? Ani Hashem Elokechem. That same God who's interested to know every human being, tomorrow when I have a tomato soup, you also have to make sure that somebody has tomato soup. Lo tignovu, lo tekachashu. You cannot steal from somebody. What does that mean? There's property rights. You can't go over to somebody else. Who creates this whole scenario? Because Baruch Lo teshakru. It's an amazing thing. I mean, it basically is obviously I can't be God, but I can in many respects be ki kadosh atem kedoshim tiyu too. Lo tigzol. Look at it. Lo talin pu'ulas charir itcha ad boker. I don't really realize what this means. Anybody know what it means? I was once an entrepreneur. I had a business. I tried my best not to pay next morning. That person should be paid this minute. Because that's, they worked hard. They got to find food, buy food. Says Hashem. I mean, amazing what a religion we have here. You're talking about a religion which talks about Anochi Hashem Elokecha, a whole bunch of stuff. God. And at the same time, I want you to know, make sure that you have to hire somebody, pay him that night. Don't make him wait. All again, Lo telech lachil b'amecha, Lo tachil maybe lashon hara. Don't go around you. You know what happens? Don't go that route. Lo tisna et achicha b'levavecha. You know what? This guy does this and this. No. Ocheach tochiach et amitecha. Go over to him and say to him, you cannot behave like this. Hochacha. Lo tikom velo titor. You know what that means? It's a beautiful idea. So Mr. Smith comes to me. I come to Mr. Smith. And I say, can I please borrow your snowblower? And Mr. Smith says, I ain't giving you no snowblower. Okay. Next winter happens to be that Mr. Smith's snowblower blows, and he comes to me. Could I please borrow your snowblower? Are you kidding? I didn't get it from you last year. That's lotikom, nekama. Or I could say to you, yeah, Mr. Smith, when I asked you to give me, you didn't give me, but I'm different. Go ahead, take it. That's called lotito. I keep my mind. You think, yeah, I'm going to show you what a nice person can do. No, you cannot do this. Why? Ani Hashem. Over and over, all this thing in here that you see is one thing after another. Ani Hashem. It's the most amazing concept. Now, Ani Hashem. So I'm going to give you something. It's called Beit HaMikdash. Beit HaMikdash, you can get closer and closer to Kedusha. Migdashi Tira, you know why? Ani Hashem. It's the most amazing thing, and one thing after another, in all things, things that you normally wouldn't even think about. Mosnei, you probably don't know what that means. Mosnei Tzedek, Avnei Tzedek, Efat Tzedek, I'm sure you don't know, because nowadays you don't. When I was a kid, you wanted to buy tomatoes, they had a scale, and tomato on one side and the weight on the other side. So now, if you messed up the weights before the customer comes in, you always give him less. That's what you can't do. This is the God who creates Mars and Pluto and it worries that Avon Becker should not make the weight a little bit more in order to cheat the customer. Avnei Tzedek, Efatze Yulachem. Why? Ani Hashem Elokechem. And this is the whole story, I think, of Kedoshim Tihiyuli. Kedoshim Tihiyuli, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us the opportunity to behave like him in those respects, because obviously I didn't create time, but I can create that situation that God likes to do. So we read one more time. Daber el kol adat b'nei Yisrael. It's not just the Kohanim. It's not just the Leviim. Kol adat b'nei Yisrael. Kedoshim tiyu, ki kadosh ani Hashem Elokecha. Yafeh.
Very nice,
Thanks,
Saba.
Saba.
Anybody would add anything to this? I think, yeah. Oh, hi. I see you there.
Does Rashi translate Kadosh as Nivdal?
I can't hear you. What is it?
Doesn't Rashi translate Kadosh as Nivdal?
I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Rashi,
Who's talking?
it's by
Who?
Yeah.
Tali, yeah, okay.
Ba'ya.
Yeah, what was your question?
Doesn't Rashi translate Kadosh as Nivdal when he talks about the Kohanim?
As what?
Nivdal.
Let me see.
Like separate, but
Let me see. Let me see what you're saying. Yeah, I think he's agreed with this. He says,
Right.
מלמד שנאמרה פרשה זו בקהל, בפני שרוב גופי תורה תלויים בה. The essence of Torah is written here. לא תגנוב, לא תקלל. Yeah. Does that answer your question, Tali?
It was Batya. It was
It's
Batya.
Batya.
as
Oh,
well.
Batya. Where, I don't see it.
It's not exactly a question. I mean, it is, but Rashi, right, he translates the concept of kadosh as nivdal, like as we have to separate ourselves, which is what you said, basically. But
Oh,
that we have to
nivdal.
separate
I heard you
ourselves.
saying nivdal. In a sense, yes, you pushim. Absolutely. You're absolutely.
Yeah.
But if you think about the word nivdal, doesn't it really mean that you're separate? If you're so
Right.
separate, you're separate from time, you're separate from earth, you're separate from physical, you're separate from spiritual. That's nivdal. So in the,
Yeah.
you're right. Lihibadel, if I am pushing, because in a certain respect there has to be, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Anyway, so
Saba, I also have a question.
Sure.
What is, according to this Pirush, what does Kiddushin mean?
Oh, very good. You tell me. You just went through it, so you better know it.
It's not.
What happened? You were
separation.
until then you were Penuya to everybody. Now there is a kedusha. The two of you, the Bini and the Tehillah are Kiddushin. There's no, that's them. Vayula basar echad. That's absolutely sure. Kiddushin is beautiful to say that. Kaddish is beautiful to say that. Beit HaMikdash is beautiful to say that. All those concepts, and that's exactly what you just said, Tehillah. All those concepts make us separate. The way HaKadosh Baruch Hu is separate, and yet at the same time, I got to worry about this poor guy out there who's snoring because he doesn't have food to eat in his house. I got to take care of him. But no, I got my own house. You got your own house. What do I worry about you? And that is exactly HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh, so far removed, as you say, Nivdal, at the same time, Baruch Hu. Yafeh. It's a good comment.
Nice.
Yafeh
Thank you,
מאוד.
Saba.
Thank you,
Thank
Thank you
Saba.
all. Shalom Aleichem. I love you all.
Love you.